everybody. Thanks for tuning in with me on Instagram and Facebook and being really responsive to my moving to some online teaching for my private sessions and for my classes. I'm really appreciative, and I know other yoga teachers and yoga studios that are local are really appreciative that you're continuing to take advantage of our classes and even willing to financially contribute to that, because I know there's a lot of free yoga online out there for you. It really makes a difference for those of us who are working to try and have this be our living. So thank you, and I'm glad that there's free yoga out there for everybody, especially those who are having challenges with income right now from losing jobs and getting laid off and having less work. So as a thank you, I'd like to offer you a sample of a yin yoga pose. So yin yoga is a style of yoga that's really slow. You hold poses for several minutes, and the intention is for you to do a little bit of meditating in the pose, but also when we take longer, hold longer in the pose, the stress that we're intentionally applying gets to seep down into the deeper tissues, the connective tissues, the tissues that are less elastic, that take a little time to move, and that's on purpose, right? They're meant to be more stabilizing tissues, so the connective tissue, the fascia that's wrapped around our bones, our ligaments and tendons, all the joint connective tissue. So it's really helpful for all of that, and we're all probably doing a lot more being still, which is incredibly good, but also a lot more sitting. And even though the pose that I'm going to demonstrate is a forward fold, it's still a different position than sitting, and the intention is really different. So I'm just going to go ahead and demonstrate it, and feel free to follow along with me. This is something you can do at any point in your day, beginning, and it's just a nice little just self-care counter support to some of what's going on for a lot of us. It's also very calming for the nervous system to do forward folds. So without further ado, you might want to sit up on a blanket like I'm doing, to lift your hips up higher than your knees. And then I invite you to just bring the soles of your feet together. And for some of us, our knees are going to be up here, and for some of us, our knees will be open wider. And either way, you can prop those knees up, right? So if they're higher up, you can have them supported with blankets or some other object that works for you. And one of the things this does is it just lets the knees know where they are versus having them hang out in space, which will keep this connective tissue a little more tensed. So then when the knees know where they are, you'll get a little bit more opportunity to release here. So take a moment to just sit up nice and tall in your seat with your seat open. The other thing I recommend, although it's up to you, is to have a little bit of space between your groin and your feet, right? So let it be a nice big diamond versus having it drawn in really close. Okay, and that'll make it easier for some of us too who have a lot of tightness around our hips. So now let's go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Feel those sits bones either pressing down into your blanket or to the mat, and then go ahead and press down just a little bit more. So the key about yin is we're going to be doing less than what we know we can do because we're prioritizing time over intensity, right? And so for all you strivers out there, which is probably most of us, I just challenge you to let this be a little more gentle. Right? It's going to do more if you're doing less intense stretch. And so as you're pressing down into your sits bones gently, go ahead and start to fold forward and bring yourself to that point where the compression of the hip bone with the leg bone stops you, right? So you go as far as you can go, and that's different for all of us too. Then you can go ahead and round your back. Just let it round out, and you can let your head drop. So this is a lot of stretch into the connective tissue. We have tissues that connect between the place where our skull and spine connect all the way down to our ankle. So if this feels really intense for you, you can also stay up here. And so think about doing about 30 to 50% of what you know you can do. So it's just some gentle level of sensation in your body. So you can sit up or you can round, right? We're doing work to just sort of decompress into the whole spine. If your head is feeling really heavy, you can use blocks or blankets or other props like bolsters or pillows, whatever you have at hand, to hold your head up so you can just relax that down. And then you just want to find some stillness. So just let yourself relax. Notice where your thoughts start to go. And it's fine to let the thoughts wander. Just see if you can keep a level of observation of those thoughts so you don't get sort of taken out of the present moment of this experience. You can notice the edges of sensation. It takes about 90 seconds for the deeper tissues to respond. You don't have to have any special breath, but you can practice some nice deep breathing, feeling yourself really breathing into the back body, which is now quite open. We have a whole field of energy that's 360 degrees, and we spend a lot of time very present in the front of our body and that energy field. So just invite you to bring your awareness to your back body. Imagine what it would feel like to face backwards. I'm also resting my elbows and my wrists on my legs. Again, any hanging joints will hold on to tension as they are just maintaining some integrity if they don't know exactly where they are in space. So having them touch something helps them relax, and that's what I encourage you to do, is muscular relaxation. So I've had a little bit of release in the hips, so I'm going to remove one of these blocks and let myself fold a little farther forward, coming again to that 30 to 50% edge. I'm talking a lot just to give you a sense of this pose, but if you do this, this would be about being quiet. Just watching what's happening. A lot of times you can just notice things release that you didn't even know you were holding on to. Again, it's just the deeper tissues that get into habit patterns with our own habits of movement. This is really nourishing and hydrating for all these deeper tissues, especially as we get older. They get drier. Just generally, we get drier. So we need to slow down and take care. You can just very mindfully move as things shift for you. I recommend, especially if this is the first time, try a 3-minute hold and see how that is. But you could also stay for longer. Maybe 5 or 6 minutes. And after that time has passed, just very gently and again mindfully bringing yourself back upright. Draw your knees together. And one way to transition out of the pose is to lean back into your hands, have your feet on the floor and take them wide, and then just rock the hips so the knees drop. This is called windshield wiper pose. And the other pose that I just did is called butterfly pose. So that can feel really yummy amidst all that you're trying to still get done at home in a whole new format, right? Or any anxiety that you're having go on right now. So I hope it's helpful. I'm also doing online yin classes if you're intrigued and want to learn more. Thank you.